Quiz 3 out. It looks like not that. Oh, might as well do gummy bears.
It's only the beginning?
No. Getting warmer.
The end?
Nope. Nope. Oh, so close. That's up to her to tell you. She knows she's close.
I don't know.
She did say that. False start, Marley. Go up to the IOU board. Nice job, Marley. Oh, wait. No. You got to go to the IOU board. I still don't have gummy bears.
What degree do you have?
Rising star.
Rising star, Harsh. Go to the IOU board. That's not my problem.
That's the only thing that we know from the equipment.
Good influence. Who was it? You guys decide. They can both go.
I was going to say good riddance to the flu,
Did that go up here precisely that?
Lena Goot does not want gummy bears. She wants to finish her quiz.
No, DeWito told me I did something wrong, but now I don't understand because I did the same calculation as Amy, and Amy's never wrong. So.
That's true.
So now
Amy was wrong on half a question in grade 9.
Yeah.
Once.
See, and then now I'm not sure if DeWito is
Really?
right or Amy is right. So now I'm confused.
I go with Amy. Every so often I lose my key. Then I just find Amy's test. If I don't have the whole test memorized when I'm marking.
Yeah, that's like the thing. If you have a different answer to Amy, you know you're wrong. Yes. So far it's been that case.
Take the seat back.
This is a tricky one. You have to know a little bit about golf to get it.
One wouldn't see.
Nope.
One wood in the back seat.
No. If you know nothing about golf, you're probably not going to get this. But since everybody knows a little bit about golf, or at least has played a golf video game. Yes, the wood is a club. A very specific club, the one wood. People usually have another name for it. No. No, woods are not irons. That's the whole point. Irons are irons. Nobody?
Backseat driver.
Backseat driver. Then say it loud enough for me to hear you. You don't get to whisper it and be a wuss. What's next? You're going to post it anonymously on Talk FM or whatever the hell that was? Well, ask it. Whatever. It was stupid and wussy.
But how's that? Now I don't understand that one.
Huh?
How is that backwards?
Seat is backwards. Back seat. And the one wood is your club called the driver. Backseat driver. Go put your name on the list, Luke. Marley, you have to know how little respect I have for anonymous anything. Sing it loud, brother. Next time.
But I also got
I'm sorry,
answer
Marley.
of it, so that's why I'm confused.
What are you confused?
About math.
Because in Germany you all drive Porsches and there's no back seats.
What?
Everybody in Germany has a Porsche. And they all live in castles. We all know that. Everybody in Europe, they drive fancy cars and live in castles.
378.
It's a castle.
Oh my god. No, it's actually watermill, but that's okay.
It's a castle. You can be honest. We know you live in a castle.
I think the 911 does have a back seat, but it's just not fit for any human.
No, I believe actually most Porsches do have a back
It's
seat.
just the Boxster.
Yeah, I think they all have back seats. I think that's one of the things about Porsches that make them okay. All right.
She messed up.
No.
I thought for once she did.
Your faith has been shaken.
Well, but how is that the right answer and you got a different answer?
That's the right. I just.
All right.
But, so you did do it wrong.
Yeah.
Good thing it doesn't count for anything.
That just makes me happy because for once I beat her in something in math.
All right. Number 1, who's got the answer for me? C. It is C, as in Cucamonga, because it is 12 sine 30 divided by sine 115.
Wouldn't Cucamonga start with the K?
No, Cucamonga starts with a C. Everybody knows that.
What's the total length of
Kalamazoo starts with a K.
So this is a right one.
Both of them are real places.
That I know that because that's C for me.
Kalamazoo is in Michigan and Cucamonga is in California.
But so then 57.7 was right. Okay, what did
That's right. That's what I thought.
But why did Dewey said it's wrong?
There's an excellent drama playing out in the front 2 seats, ladies and gentlemen. I want to see how it ends. Give me a moment.
So we're.
But this is very confusing.
Oh, I recorded the whole backseat driver thing. Interesting. Well, Marley, we can go back and check on the video if you indeed said backseat driver.
Except you can't hear it.
You would take video.
Yeah.
What was the wood for then? What's the wood there for?
The one wood is a driver. It's the name of the club. All right. Number 2, who's got an answer for me?
Well, that test is all fun and blue. Ours is.
What is it? B.
Yay.
Okay, I presume.
What's a fun place that begins with B?
British Columbia.
My life is confusing.
I can't think of a fun named place that doesn't sound real that begins with B. I gotta look it up.
Baltimore.
Baltimore's a giant city. It doesn't sound fake. Kalamazoo and Cucamonga don't sound like real places. Neither does Timbuktu, but Timbuktu is a real place. It's a giant city in Mali. True story. No, dude. Oh, maybe Fahrenheit. But Fahrenheit's stupid.
Yes. Thank you.
No, it's not.
No.
What?
Why is 18 degrees?
Describe to me why Fahrenheit is more accurate. No, why is it more accurate?
I watched it on a YouTube video.
Undoubtedly produced by an American. Why is Fahrenheit more accurate? It's just a way of measuring. How is it any more accurate than anything else?
As if you'd say feet is more accurate than meters.
You just measure stuff with it. It's not more accurate.
No, temperature's a weird thing to measure. I mean, Celsius and Fahrenheit both work. It's just.
So does Kelvin.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you measure something in. If there's a measurement system, it's accurate. The problem with Fahrenheit is the numbers are stupid.
Yep.
Certain things like water freezing, why would you have that at 32? Makes no sense. Why would water boil at 212? It makes no sense. And then, even more stupid, they catch up to each other at negative 40. Negative 40 Celsius is the same as negative 40 Fahrenheit.
No, that doesn't make sense.
It makes perfect sense.
Apparently. Because of the
How are
conversion system that you
32
have.
Fahrenheit and 0 Celsius, and then they match up by
Celsius goes from 0 to 100
which really doesn't make sense.
for boiling water, right?
Yeah,
So it follows
straight line.
a straight line. Fahrenheit goes from 32 to 212, right? So Fahrenheit at time 0, the water is frozen, it's at 32, and then it's up at 212. It's a steeper slope, right? So Fahrenheit goes down like this,
And it's not a parallel
Celsius goes down like this, and eventually they meet.
line. That's cool.
at negative 40.
Why would you make a system that has 32 equals 0?
I agree with you. But you could argue that Celsius is also not a good system because water only boils at 100 degrees at sea level. If you go above or below sea level, the changing water boils at a different temperature due to air pressure.
How many countries use Fahrenheit instead of Celsius?
3.
So
The same countries that use imperial instead of metric.
Are you sure?
Yes,
Yeah.
Look it up.
because Fahrenheit is the imperial measurement. When you say to somebody young, like your guys' age from Australia, oh man, it was 100 degrees today. They're like, that's impossible. Your blood would boil. Because they only know Celsius. My wife doesn't know Fahrenheit. When we drive through the States and I tell her, oh man, it's 95 today. She's like, that means nothing to me. I got to change. Oh man, it's like 33 degrees. She's like, holy crap, it's hot. When we were in Redding, California last summer, it was 40 degrees.
Wait, did you?
40! It's not fit for human living. The dog couldn't even walk on the ground. We had to run between patches of grass so the dog's feet didn't fry.
When
We looked like idiots. We'd be walking along in a parking lot along the grass, then run, and then walk along some more grass, then run, and then walk along some more grass, then run.
The bottoms of your shoes melt.
No, but it was grody.
When we went down to Italy or Nice, I'm not sure which one it was, but we.
Oh, tough life in Europe, eh? When we went down to Italy or Nice, I'm not sure which it was. I can't remember if they were speaking Italian or French.
No, because we were driving from.
We drove down in our Porsche and stayed at our cousin's castle. But it's not really a castle. It's more of a keep. We live in a castle, but they're poor. They have a keep.
Rude. No, we went from France over to Italy, so I'm not.
Oh, I see. We left Germany to France and Italy. It was just a short jaunt of a holiday, just down to France, the south of France, and over to Italy. We stopped off for cheese in Switzerland on the way home.
No, we went through Austria.
Oh, of course, we went through Austria. We had some lovely pastries and patisseries in Vienna while we walked through the hills singing "The Hills Are Alive." I'm just jealous. Where'd you go this weekend? Sumas. Anyway, carry on.
We had to we went to McDonald's just to get a
See, now the story's ruined.
No, but
You're driving through the south of France. We stopped at McDonald's.
No, we stopped there to get ice cubes for our dog because we were walking and she was sweating pretty much.
You did not know if your dog was sweating. Your dog can only sweat from 2 places.
Yeah, but she was really hot, and so
Yes, dogs sweat from the pores of their feet and through their tongue.
Yeah, and then we gave her the ice cream. She usually hates those, but she was so quick and
That's why if you smell your dog's feet, it will smell like corn chips.
Why would you smell your dog's feet?
I just said that if you smell your dog's feet, it will smell like corn chips. I guarantee you that a bunch of people in this room will come here tomorrow and say, my dog's feet smelled like corn chips.
That's the other cause.
Because dog food is mostly corn and dogs sweat out their feet. So,
But why does their tongue?
that is why if you eat a bunch of raw garlic, you stink like garlic because you're sweating out the oils from the garlic.
So if you don't sweat, then you don't.
Everybody sweats.
No, but it's say in theory, if you eat garlic but you wouldn't sweat, then you wouldn't smell it.
Then you wouldn't smell like garlic.
So if you rub deodorant all over yourself, after
That's a really bad idea. Deodorant is a horrible bunch of chemicals. You shouldn't put it on your body as little as possible.
Yeah, but
Or you
in
should get
theory-
natural deodorant.
But in theory,
Same with antiperspirant. Read the ingredients on your antiperspirant. You really want to coat your body in aluminum trichlorohydride?
something wrong.
I don't.
She got something wrong.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she went. It was originally 50 degrees. Now it's 36.
Damn it!
Can't you copy her answer?
Number 3, who's got an answer for me? Oh, I didn't say why for 3. 3, it's, or 2, sorry. 25 over sine 40 equals x over sine 70. So it's 25 sine 70 divided by sine 40. Who's got an answer for 3?
Sine law, cos law.
It is definitely cos law. B. And it is cos x equals 18 squared minus 40 squared minus 25 squared over negative 2 times 40 times 25. And then you shift cos the whole thing to get 18. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Survey of flood line is shown.
How it says meters of hedge. That's one. How many meters of hedge?
You mentioned that yesterday. I didn't really see why you thought it was so funny.
Why don't you just keep going at home auto? Hey man, I need 127 meters of hedge, man.
Okay.
Why is that funny?
See, that isn't what I thought was funny. I thought it was funny because hedge and edge rhyme. So the meters of hedge is the same as the meters of edge. So if you were in Britain, it would be the same answer. Meters of edge? Meters of hedge. Or France, I guess, because they dropped the H too. But I don't think the word in French for hedge is hedge. It's probably something else. Le hedge.
How do you know it's still not live?
It's a good thing that...
And if it starts with H, it would be L.
I know. So it doesn't matter if it's le or la, does it?
No. Except only if you use that.
All right. So, of course, for this one, you're going to get a few points, yeah? Because you have to do...
Math.
Sine law for both sides.
you have to do 2 sine laws. So this is the way I like to set these up. I put the pair that I know in the middle, and then I put the other ones on the other side. So A over sine what? 47. How did you know it was 47? Right. And the other side was B over sine 65. Then once it's set up, you just do proportional reasoning on both sides. So A equaled 46 sine 47 over sine 68. And B equaled 46 sine 65 over sine 68. And then A plus B plus 46 gave you the answer. And what was it?
127.
127. And I will give you 3 marks for that. You decide how much of that you deserve. Now, since Diana is designing a triangle race, I'm going to use blue because it's in the water. Foom. Foop.
Oh, it is.
Sailing.
I don't know what a regatta is.
But you know where sailing occurs.
I didn't read the word sail. I skipped that whole sentence because it didn't have anything to do with math. I only read the sentences that help me.
Of course, this is a cos law situation. So you make that side little c. So c equals the square root of 6 squared plus 7 squared minus 2 times 6 times 7 times cos 35. And what do you get?
4 kilometers.
4. I will give you 2 marks for that because you also had to... You didn't necessarily have to do a drawing, but if you didn't do a drawing, you at least had to understand how to interpret the drawing. And the next one, which was problematic. Hey, wait a minute. My test ends. It doesn't have number 6 on it. That's a pain in the rump. All right, well,
Did you check the back?
the race starts at Thetaville.
The other one's wrong. Yeah, I guess.
And he travels directly northwest for 13 kilometers.
45 degrees.
So that's 45, that's 45. We don't know which of the 45s we're going to use yet, because we don't know where he turns when he gets to West Haven. West Haven is named after the park that I go surfing in Washington.
Oh, you go surfing?
Now, the question says he makes a 118-degree turn. When we are reading headings that way, we always turn in what direction?
Clockwise.
Clockwise. So if he didn't turn at West Haven, he would be going this way, correct? But he did turn. How far? 118 degrees. And then he ran this way, right? That's 118. So what then is that? 62. And he rode 18 kilometers. Now, this is a little bit sexist because I'm not totally sure if Chang is a boy or a girl. So I'm using the he pronoun. I should use the Z pronoun. That's one of the new pronouns.
Is it actually officially now?
No. But it is one of the new pronouns.
So wait, he turned 118 degrees.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And rode for 18 kilometers. And then he arrived at Northampton.
I screwed that up. I don't know what I did. Well, it's because I calculated from 0 down, not from where he goes.
And then when he gets to Northampton, he turns around and rides home to Thetaville. We know the 13, the 62, and the 18. So what do we do for A?
13 plus 8.
We need coastlaw, right?
Yeah, that was.
So A was how long was the race. So to do this question, you really needed a drawing. I'm giving out 2 for the drawing.
What if drawing
Now,
is
just to do the question right, of course, this is little c. So c equals the square root of 18 squared plus 13 squared minus 2 times 18 times 13 times cos 62 equals 16.5. Now listen to me. If your drawing is wrong, but you used coastlaw, and you used the 18 and the 13, but this is wrong, then you still get 1 point for A. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you used cosine law and you used it correctly, you still get the 1 point available for you for A. You just don't get the points available for you for the drawing. But I'm sure everybody got that line for the drawing. So everybody should give themselves some marks for the drawing. And finally, B. What are the angles? What are you going to use for B? What do you have to use for B? Sine law, because you got a pair, right? Now, if you did it right, you've got 62 and 16.5. Right? So, 16.5 over 62. And then you work that out to get 62, 44, and 74, which is only going to be worth 1 because you're really only doing sine law. Now, if you use sine law on the third one, and you got angles adding up to 180, do you give yourself the full mark? Yeah, so on this page you would get 2 out of 4. Okay? If your drawing is wrong, you are losing some marks. Everybody with me? All right. Making the whole thing out of something like The back page was 4. There was 3 multiple choice, so that's 7. And 5. Did I give you 2 marks for number 5?
Yeah.
Okay, so 5 and 4 is 9, and 3 is 12. That's what I got.
Because I did do the math, but then she got it wrong too.
That happens.
So now I don't actually have to. Because I got it right the first time, but then she interrupted me, and I was confused, and I thought she was right. Yeah, but I had the right, but can't English. But I had the right idea that was wrong, and then that can't be the right answer. Where you were saying, no, it's the right answer. No, it's not. No, because that's the answer that I said, so. Yeah, but you're saying it should.
You know, I thought the highlight of my morning was the perfect smoothie I made this morning, and then the excitement of my wife dropping the blender jar and exploding it all over the kitchen. But no, it's this. Yes, I now have to buy a new blender jar due to my wife's clumsiness. All right, it is 8:38. You have the rest of the block. I would love it if we could mark it today, but if we can't, it's no big deal. To do review 2 in your book, which starts on page... The Sogodoa stuff is not in review 2. This is just a reminder for you because you still need to be able to do Sogotoa stuff. So if you want to have a quick look at this, this is something you guys are not very hot at. Where is angle QPR? It's the entirety of the top. It's that whole thing. So since you have 2 parts of this triangle, you could find this side. And you have 2 parts of the green triangle. So you could find this side. Then what would you do with those 2 numbers? Add them up. Excellent. Some of you would be tempted to try and figure out the sine law or the cosine law here. Could you do it?
Yeah, but it doesn't.
Yes, because you know that side because of Pythagoras, right? And because of Pythagoras, you could use that to find, and you could also use Pythagoras. Actually, that's not what you would do. You would find this side with Pythagoras. You would find this angle with shift sine, and then you would have that pair.
Or not.
You would. Then you would have that pair. Then you would use sine over here to find that pair. And then you could also find it that way. There's all kinds of ways to do it. Next, where are the angles of depression?
C. Oh no, C is an angle. Right?
Only C is an angle of depression. Why?
Is this looking downwards? It's like
Because you go from the horizontal to the down. Only C is an angle of depression.
What was the other one again? Like the opposite of depression?
Inclination or elevation. Where's that? B. And finally, determine angle F right there if you know that CDE is equilateral. What does that mean? So that's 3, right? So could you find F? Of course you can, because this, you would find the hypotenuse, but you know it automatically. What is it? 5. So this whole thing is what? 8. Here you have opposite and hypotenuse. So what would you use? Sine. That's just there to remind you of how to do the beginning of the second part of your trig review, which is coordinate grid trig. But coordinate grid trig is what really? It's really SOHCAHTOA trig, isn't it? Okay? Go. This is page... Exactly what I said.